All right, let's get into it, because this Stefon Diggs situation just keeps twisting and turning, and it's become one of the biggest storylines around the Patriots this offseason. So here we are again. Diggs is still not an organized team. Activities. And while sure it's voluntary and plenty of veterans skip this phase, there's a bigger story behind his absence. We're not just talking about a guy who's choosing to train on his own. We're talking about a major signing, a presumed WR1, and a player who was supposed to be a pillar for a rebuilding Patriots offense, now led by a young quarterback who desperately needs reliable targets. Instead, we've got questions. We've got silence. We've got video clips, rumors, and what seems like a whole lot of tiptoeing around what's really going on. Last weekend, a video made the rounds showing what looked like a tense exchange involving Diggs, and naturally the internet went wild. People speculated about his attitude, his health, even whether the Patriots were having second thoughts. Then we got that non-committal comment, or non-comment really, from Mike Vrabel. No clarification, no real direction, just more smoke. And in the NFL, where there's smoke, there's usually some kind of fire. The thing is, when a big-name player misses OTAs, it's easy to brush it off. But when it's a big-name player who just signed a massive contract and already has speculation swirling around him, that's when you start paying close attention. Diggs signed a 3-year, $69 million deal. And on the surface, it looked like a bold move by New England. $26 million guaranteed. That's a commitment. That's a statement. But now we're learning that the Patriots might have protected themselves in a very smart, very calculated way. According to reports, there's a clause in the contract that allows the team to essentially walk away from the deal with zero financial consequence if Diggs fails to pass a full physical. And that right now is the sticking point, because reportedly, he hasn't passed that physical yet. Until he does, the Patriots don't owe him a dime. That detail changes everything. It means the Patriots aren't boxed into this situation. If they decide that Diggs isn't the right fit, whether that's because of injury, behavior, or simply because he's not bought into the Vrabel system, they can pull the plug without blowing up the cap. This isn't just about performance or personality. This is about leverage, and the Patriots might have a lot more of it than we initially thought. Now look, I'm not saying they're going to cut Stefon Diggs. In fact, I'd be surprised if they did. The talent is still there. He's still one of the most polished route runners in the league, still explosive, still capable of being a nightmare for opposing secondaries. And if you're trying to develop a young quarterback like Drake May, having a legitimate WR1 on. The roster is basically a requirement, not a luxury. But at the same time, you have to look at all angles. There's already chatter that the Patriots had, at the very least, considered the idea of moving on from Diggs. This came out of nowhere and hit hard, especially when someone like Scott Zolak mentioned that the idea of cutting him was on the table. That doesn't come out of thin air. That means someone inside the organization at some point had a real conversation about that possibility. And if that happened, the physical clause would be the path they take to make it happen. No dead money, no long-term financial hit, just a clean exit if they felt things weren't right. Of course, none of this is confirmed. We're all piecing this together from what's been reported, what's been said, barely, and what hasn't been said at all. But we're in that part of the offseason where there's not a ton of football happening and every little headline gets blown up. 14 weeks from real games being played means a lot of stories get magnified. And maybe this is one of them. Maybe this is just a bump in the road. But if you're a Patriots fan, you're watching this situation closely because Diggs was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the weapon that helped elevate the offense, give Drake May a reliable security blanket, and make defenses play honest. Right now, none of that's happening. What you hope for, if you're the Patriots, if you're Vrabel, if you're Drake May, is that this is just a slow start. That Diggs is working through something, gets medically cleared, and joins the team in full, ready to contribute. You want this to be a moment of growing pains, not the beginning of a bigger fracture. And maybe that's exactly what it is. Maybe Diggs shows up in a week or two, gets on the field, and reminds everyone why he was such a coveted piece in the first place. But until that happens, we're going to keep wondering. Now, let's flip it to the other wide receivers because this is not an empty room waiting for Diggs to walk in and take over. There's a battle going on, and it's heating up. Assuming Diggs does get back on the field, you can pencil him in as one of the top 4, no question. But after that, it's competitive. Veteran signing Mac Hollins looks like a lock to stick, especially given his versatility and leadership traits. Pop Douglas, returning from last season, is another one who's pretty much a guarantee. And then you've got third-round rookie Jalen Polk, who's impressed so far and looks like he could contribute early. That leaves us with some serious decisions to be made. 12 wide receivers are currently on the roster, and there's no way all of them make it to week 1. One name that's been floating in and out of trade rumors is Kayshon Boutte. Now, this guy's story is wild. At one point in his college career at LSU, he was projected as a first-round pick. But inconsistencies, some injury concerns, and questions about his focus dropped his stock hard. He ended up being a late-round pick, almost a flyer. And last year he had some flashes, especially late in the season where he looked like one of Drake May's go-to guys. But with all the names stacked up at that position now, Boutte was seen by some as the odd man out. Reports came out that the Patriots were shopping him around leading up to the draft. Nothing happened, so he's still here, still in the fight. And it might not be a done deal that he's heading out. Vrabel has taken notice of his effort. He's reportedly come into OTAs in better shape, with a better attitude, and coaches are seeing the difference. That kind of thing matters, especially to a guy like Vrabel, who values accountability and buy-in just as much as talent. He wants guys who want to be there, who are putting in the work, and Boutte seems to be doing exactly that right now. Vrabel's comments about him weren't over the top, but they were positive. He said he's noticed the improvement, noticed the effort, and that Boutte seems willing to do things a little differently this year. And in a room full of receivers all battling for a roster spot, that kind of attention from the head coach can go a long way. Sometimes it's not about draft stock, not about hype. It's about who's showing up, who's getting better, and who the coaching staff trusts when it's crunch time. So if I had to guess right now, I'd say Boutte's got the inside track to snag that 6th receiver spot. Jalen Polk, Pop Douglas, Mac Hollins, and Diggs are your core 4, with the 5th likely being Kendrick Bourne if he's healthy and engaged. Boutte could squeeze in there if he continues trending up. One name that could complicate things is rookie Javon Baker. He's got a ton of talent, and some think he could push for a spot. But there's a very real possibility that he starts on the practice squad. Let him develop, get acclimated, and be ready to step in if needed. He's still young, just like Boutte, but the difference is that Boutte has already shown he can hang at the NFL level, even in limited reps. Another guy to watch out for? Ethan Chisholm, undrafted, Eastern Washington. A big upside. He's raw, but he's in the mix, and the coaching staff is going to give him every chance to prove he belongs. He'll likely be battling those last few guys head-to-head, and with the way Vrabel likes to rotate and keep guys fresh, don't be surprised if someone unexpected sneaks onto the final roster. And then there's the back end of the defense, where a rookie might just be making more noise than anyone expected. Craig Woodson, safety out of Cal, has been turning heads at OTAs. Drafted early in the 4th round, some analysts thought that was a bit high. But according to team sources, the Patriots had him ranked much higher than the consensus. When day 2 wrapped up, and they saw him still sitting there, he was their top guy left. If they had the first pick of day 3, he was the one they were taking, no question. And so far, it looks like they knew what they were doing. Woodson's been all over the field, matching up against tight ends, receivers, even running backs, and holding his own. His college coach, Craig Woodson, had a nickname for him, the Eraser. Not because he made flashy plays, but because he erased mistakes. He cleaned up everything. Missed tackles? He was there. Blown coverage? He filled the gap. Deep shot over the middle? Forget it. Craig was there to shut it down. That kind of player is gold for defense, especially one trying to reestablish its identity under a new regime. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a surprising twist that's sending shockwaves through NFL circles, speculation is growing that Brandon Aiyuk might be the unexpected piece in the puzzle for the New England Patriots' offensive resurgence. While no official confirmation has surfaced, Whispers around league insiders suggest that the talented wide receiver could be on the radar of the Patriots front office, with some even claiming exploratory talks may already be underway. For months, the Patriots have been linked to several big-name receivers as they look to rejuvenate an offense that struggled to find consistency last season. But the potential arrival of Aiyuk would be a move that few saw coming. The 24-year-old then the 26-year-old wideout, coming off another productive campaign with the San Francisco 49ers, possesses the speed, route-running precision, and after-the-catch explosiveness that New England's receiving core has sorely lacked. Rumors indicate that the Patriots are looking for a wild card addition, a player who can immediately shift the dynamics of their attack and provide a reliable target for their evolving quarterback situation. Aiyuk, known for his versatility and clutch performances, fits that description perfectly. He could offer head coach Jared Mayo and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt the flexibility to deploy creative formations and open up the playbook in ways that haven't been possible in recent years. Of course, there are hurdles to any potential move. Aiyuk is reportedly seeking a contract extension, and San Francisco's front office faces tough decisions about managing their salary cap and retaining key players. That financial uncertainty, combined with the Patriots' ample cap space and urgent need for a premier receiver, is fueling speculation that New England could make a bold play. While Patriots officials have remained tight-lipped, and Aiyuk himself has made no public comments about his future, the mere possibility of this scenario is generating considerable buzz among fans and analysts alike. If this move does materialize, it could mark a significant shift in the AFC East balance of power, offering the Patriots the kind of offensive weapon they've lacked since the days of Julian Edelman. For now, it remains just that, a rumor, an intriguing possibility, a tantalizing what if. But as the offseason progresses and teams begin to position themselves for success in the 2025 campaign, don't be surprised if Brandon Aiyuk's name continues to be linked with Foxborough in what could be one of the most unexpected moves of the year. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.